Welcome everyone to our March 22nd Duntroon Hall Board meeting. We will start with the land acknowledgement. Is there anyone who would like to do the land acknowledgement this evening? Any volunteers? Nobody's been practicing? No? Okay, well, I'll start with it if no one's gonna take it on. I would like to begin our meeting by recognizing the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples of Canada as traditional stewards and caretakers of the land. We acknowledge that Clearview Township is located within the boundaries of Treaty 18, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, Tionanat. Oh, when I try to hyphenate it never works. Tionate, Wendat, and is home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people as part of an intricate nationhood that reaches across Turtle Island. At this time of truth and reconciliation, we welcome the opportunity to work together towards new understandings and new relationships and ask for guidance in all we do. We will begin by approving the agenda. Be it resolved, the Duntroon Hall Board hereby approve the agenda dated March 22nd, 2022 as presented. Jim will pass. Who else?
I will.
Dave, number 2. Thank you. At this point, if you can disclose any disqualifying interests and general nature thereof, we appreciate it. Silence. Very good. Approval of the previous minutes. Any comments regarding the minutes? Quick scan here. I don't know if there's anything.
Motion to approve.
Yeah. Be it resolved, the Duntroon Hall Board hereby approve the meeting minutes dated February 22nd, 2022 as presented. Jim makes the motion.
I'll second if nobody else is jumping on it.
I will.
We could just stick with that. Business arising from the minutes. Say AOAD, a update. The PCR staff options report. So I don't know if people received the council report. I'm not sure if I forwarded this on or if it got passed on. The
I
council
never saw it.
No? Okay, I'll do it after.
It's all hyperlinked in the agenda. So when you see those little blue lines, you can actually click on them.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Great. So as you can see, yeah, there's 3 items hyperlinked there, or 4 if you include the COVID update. But yeah, there's the.
Okay. That's way too fancy for us.
There you go. Yeah, so there's the 3 things. There's the staff options report, the Burnside renovation report, and the elevator device fee schedule. I think main points to take away from the staff option report. Basically, the costs to Duntroon Hall as updated, excluding HST, was $952,000. And then the costs basically on average is saying it's about $1,400 for annual inspection and licensing fees for the elevator lift. And subsequent. And then we go staff and department recommendations, which there are 8 There's nothing really to highlight. Basic. One of the big ones I'd say there is the Clearview Township set a fundraising commitment from the hall boards of 10% to 20% of the total construction cost, financed over 10 years. So in our case, roughly $95,000 plus, roughly a $10,000 fundraising contribution for 10 years. That is obviously not set in stone, and this is passed, but that's what they're suggesting. I don't think there's any other takeaways from this.
The first link, Gord, the one that says AODA
update,
that is Terry's overview of what happened and the next steps.
So I was gonna get to that. So
sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. So basically in April, the council is going to get together and make decisions on the staff recommendations, determine the process for receiving tenders, requests for quotes, proposals from contractors. They're going to determine construction guidelines, create a MOU for each hall board regarding the construction phase of renovations. They're going to create an MOU with each hall board regarding operating financial commitments and set an amount for hall boards to commit at that point. They're going to finalize the financing agreement, bylaws for the project as a whole, and commitment to taxpayers of Clearview Township. And then they will determine which community hall gets renovated first to last, or just the first two only. So the goal is to renovate 2 halls a year. So the process will go over the next 3 years, hopefully. That is the goal. Yeah, I'm not sure how they will decide which halls get selected, but something obviously will be discussed in the early April meeting. I don't think there's anything else majorly there. Any questions from the basically council report, staff report? Yes, Jim.
I haven't reviewed that, but I was just curious to know does it look like Lloyd would continue, or do they make any reference to that?
Let me just check in their report what they say. Duntroon. Let's see.
I was thinking mostly in terms of timing for if we were able to have Lloyd continue, just that it don't want to throw it on somebody's desk at the last minute and say, okay, this is
Yeah, and there's no mention of it. I mean, his plans are a part of it. So I would presume, but once again, timing, like we don't know the timing, and maybe that is something that we could reach out to Lloyd and sort of find out which scenario best suits him.
Yeah. And Terry maybe too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep them in the loop. And Peter at Burnside, just to make sure that they're all in the loop on that.
Yeah. And one thing too, I think the plans that went in were good for preliminary pricing there, but there was still some things that we're not maybe included that we're hoping to accomplish.
Yeah.
Like that the lower and upper hall exits into the park. Like
Yeah.
that lower one, we all know is terrible.
Gotta go.
That was really covered in Lloyd's drawing.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's room to expand upon stuff a bit.
He put a contingency in for that, I think.
Oh, did he? Okay. I mixed.
Yeah, I think without looking at notes for sure, I think it was upwards to 150,000 he put in for that deck and entrance and stuff.
Okay. Lloyd did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe from the numbers that Lloyd and I had discussed, there we go. Where are we at here?
Yeah, I don't think, all I saw is drawings. I don't think
So if you look at well, I don't know. I can't scroll down. That would be.
Yeah, it doesn't indicate.
That's what I saw Lloyd had was 800,000 at the bottom. But when the township's in at 952, I don't know what I thought maybe that was 150 he added on for that.
Oh, so this document, oh, sorry, okay. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, it's not a big deal. I just wanted to make sure that we don't forget that.
Oh yeah, he's got exterior stage at 50,000 and they got a new sewage system at 83,000. Okay.
Okay, good. All right.
Just based on, I mean, we could probably make a request for timing. Is there a preference? Do we want to be sooner or later? Do we want to be in the first year, second year, or third year?
I would think sooner rather than later, but I don't know. I'd like to see the vestibule addition go on in like October sometime, and the rest of the renovation to continue through the winter. We have a big buck and doe season that is every summer, and we'd hate to miss out on that, because if we have to try and come up with 10 to 20% of the funds, we need to be able to operate in the summer months.
Good point. Yeah. Yeah, even if they, whatever the duration is expected to be, even if they were starting in August, it wouldn't be that bad, right? Compared to starting at this time.
Starting in April, May would be a lot worse for sure. You miss out on a lot of the buck and does, but I still think August and September are still busy with weddings and stuff that, you know, if it was an early October start and all you have to do is get the foundation in and the front closed in, everything else in that building is internal except for that stage.
Yeah.
So you're not weather dependent on that. So that's where I'm thinking that a winter project would be more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. You know, I'm unfamiliar with what type of time turnaround would be expected for something like that. Construction period.
Is there, and there has to be a bidding.
Yeah, there's a bidding process. And
Yeah.
so a ways out. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that would be a good request that we kind of try to maximize our, or not be to the detriment of our main rental season.
Yeah, to time it.
Yeah. And if it had to be done in phases, I would do an October, get the building done on the outside first. And then, you know, if nothing starts again until January, that would leave us the Christmas party season open again. But I know that's kind of being picky on how it goes, but.
Yeah, I got a feeling that when they start, they'll just run with it.
Yeah.
Lovely. But who knows? We'll see.
Great. Anything else regarding the AOA update? No, we're good. Okay, I will move on. COVID update. Amanda sent out a memo March 1st. There was nothing subsequent with regards to the latest change as far as masks. I didn't see anything anyways. But yeah, just following the health guidelines that the Ontario government has put in place, and our health units. So things are pretty much open, no vaccination requirements to be shown. Masking was, but now is relieved. Yeah. Any questions regarding COVID? I guess once again, same question is, I don't know, Kayla, is there any talk about in-person meetings? We still looking at May potentially?
Yep, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Okay. Perfect, thank you. Financial report, Mary, what do you got?
Well, thanks to, excuse me, thanks to Green Bear Day, we had a big influx of cash. So our bank balance is $26,987. The the Green Beer Day profit was $6,785, which is terrific. Thanks to all your hard work.
Is that a net or a gross?
Yep. Net.
That's the final. David, do you have any returns though?
I already did all that.
So that's already taken into account?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. No, that's the final figure then. $6,785.
Excellent.
All the expenses were taken out of cash except yours, Gord, for the SOP and the ice.
Yep, perfect.
That was $190. So yeah, well done.
Super.
Not bad for a day's work.
Bad for a night's.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else on the financial side? No. Good. Monica, events and booking updates.
We're booked right through until the middle of June with Buck and Doe's and family events.
Super. Is that just 1 day a week sort of thing?
Pretty much, yeah. Easter weekend we have Saturday, Sunday. There's a couple weekends we have Sunday bookings.
Are these family events requiring bowling alley?
Yes, we have some bowling.
Okay.
Like Easter weekend, they're bowling both days.
Do we know the status of the bowling alley? Maybe we should have a little bowling alley, a bowling get together and make sure everything's operational there.
Yeah, it was, it ran a bit the other day, messing around with it. There's still some air leaks that need to be looked after. And as Mark and I have discussed many times, we need to get that compressor serviced too. So that wouldn't be a bad thing to get that all looked after someday.
Yeah.
They're bowling this Sunday too.
Oh, joy and no bliss. Okay.
Dave, do you want to meet and just, we can make a list of maybe some of the requirements and then we can sort of tick them off. I think one of the switches might be gone or a couple of switches, so we might need to attend to those as well.
Yeah, just, yeah, yeah.
Just let me know if there's a good time in your schedule. Anyone else who wants to partake in bowling alley?
I'll just warn you, it's a bit of a nightmare.
What, in there? Why, is there a whole bunch of stuff in there?
No, I just mean screwing with all them little air fittings and
Oh, I know.
It's-
You fix one and another one pops up.
yeah, they're finicky little things. So
Yeah.
And I went down Saturday night at the Buck and Doe and the bowling alley door was open. So I closed it. And when I closed it, it was locked. I didn't notice anybody in there, but it was wide open.
I thought you were gonna say someone got locked in.
at Green Beer Day, there was some people in there and I went down and shut the door, chased them out and locked that door. I didn't lock the one at the pin end. And I think they went in through that way and unlocked the other door. So I went back down and relocked everything. So
So I don't know how they get in Saturday night because it shouldn't have been open like that
I don't know.
unless they crawled in somewhere.
But the key is on the chain, so maybe.
Right. Right. And that was what I was wondering. Is there anywhere we can put that and put a different code on it so that the bowling alley is not accessible to the Buck and Doe people?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Take it off the main chain.
Like, I know from Monica's standpoint, it's nice to have it there because you can just send anybody to that code and they can rent and get in, no problem. But the bowling alley seems to be a little happy place for some drunks.
What about having another, sorry, lockbox?
Another lockbox, Jim is saying.
Yeah, I think that's what Dave was going to. Yeah.
Yeah, or even if we did a code on the bowling alley, like a coded doorknob.
Yeah. And we can just switch it up and yeah, then we're not finicking with keys either. That's generally nice. And then it's just set for, and if whoever the renter is can be notified of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I like.
I have to go to work, so can I just finish my little report?
I'm gonna make a quick motion that we install a coded lock on the bowling alley door.
That's good.
All in favor?
Yep.
Monica, Suzanne, yeah, good.
I'm not 100% certain that there isn't one there. I think I had two and I put one on the bar and I'm not sure where the second one was supposed to go, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's one in the basement.
All right, let's find it.
What do you do with the other little man door, the pin door where the
We
when they
can
broke
leave a
into
key
broke
in the
door?
in the main door that they can go back and access that door, but if they can't get in the main one, then they can't get to the key.
They'll probably lose the key. I wonder. Ideally, have two punch button ones with the
Oh.
same.
Both codes, sure.
Let's change that vote to two.
Yeah, two punch lock doors for bowling alley access.
Sounds good.
All in favor? They are.
I am.
Okay. Sorry, Monica, continue.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for their help with Green Beer Day. It was a complete success. I
And
especially,
thank you too.
Yeah.
I'd really like to say that it was mainly Nicole and Taylor who did most of it, and David. I just kind of showed up to the party. The girls got everything and decorated and everything else, and David got all the booze and stuff, and everybody else that helped and jumped in. That was great. We have a lot of great feedback from it.
That's great.
Wonderful.
And
Yeah.
Nicole.
Yeah.
And it was at perfect timing, so that was a big plus. And the other thing is the floor sweeper hasn't been working properly. So I found a guy to come in and service it. And he came in and did some stuff on it. And I had to give him my visa. He hasn't billed me yet. I think it's gonna be under $200. I hope that's okay. He wants to do a couple other things, but he's gonna send me prices before he does it. He said it's sitting for 2 years didn't help it at all. The water sitting in it and stuff. And so he changed the filter, put a new filter on, did a few things, and I haven't used it yet, but he did the whole floor for me. So he was quite nice, and that was good to have him. We've had it for years. We've never done anything to it. So I thought, why not?
Yeah.
So on that same note, that the toilet's sitting dry for 2 years, there's 2 toilets that are running. I picked up 2 new plungers today, or the flush valves today, so I'll get them in.
What, they're just like a little slow leak in them right now?
The float comes up, but it doesn't shut the water off. The O-rings are all dried up in them. Sitting dry for 2 years, that'll happen.
Yeah.
And that's all I have for now, I think.
Great.
I believe I have a little bill here too for drywall and miscellaneous stuff to put that bathrooms back together, so. I don't know where that's at yet, but I'll find it, send it in.
Excellent. What do you think? Are we just going to leave it the state it's in at this point? I guess it sort of depends if we're one in the first allotment or the second or the third. How much we probably need to finish it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun.
Monica requested a curtain around the lady's vanity just so that she can hide the toilet paper and stuff underneath. So we're going to get that made up and stuck on so that it hides that stuff. But
Perfect. Great. Yeah, Jim?
Just, I went by the hall on Saturday night there. I guess there's a buck and doe or something. And just if you guys are in there to maybe program the parking lot light, because it was pretty dark.
I thought of that at Green Beer when I was out being a bouncer, that it was dark out there and I should redo that light, but I didn't get that far.
Has it just been turned off for COVID?
It may very well have, but it's also on a timer. So when the time changes and the hydrant's been out and everything else, it'll be way out of setting likely.
I think it deals with that automatically.
Oh, does it? Okay.
I think so.
It depending on what vintage it is. I know the ones I've had from years back, you had to do that every time the time changed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just thinking for the buck and doe stuff.
Yeah.
Nice for them to have the light.
So I guess that's sort of, we slipped into facility review stuff there. I'd like to do a shout out to Travis for all his time that he has also donated to the bathroom renos with Dave. If you could give him a big thank you all board, that'd be appreciated.
Will do. He doesn't have a choice.
But it's nice to know he's appreciated for not having a choice.
Exactly.
There'll be something in it for him down the road. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Super. Facility review. Any comments? Anything we need to address right away? I guess we could do a bit of a spring clean.
I was thinking that if we were allowed to go into in-person meeting for April, then we could likely do a yard cleanup before the meeting, but
yeah,
we've done in the past. But if we're not allowed to go until May, we'll have to have it done before that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see. Next meeting is April 19th. Maybe we'll set a date at that meeting subsequent to it, short term, to do a cleanup.
Absolutely, yep.
Any other facility issues? Don't recall seeing anything or anything of note when we were there. Joseph did the patching, so it's all done. I guess we're waiting on furnace still.
Yeah.
One question on lights again, too. Just the Christmas lights that are on, I guess are they on a timer, or are they?
They're plugged in the same as the star is that the township has put there.
Same timer?
They're not on a timer, they're just on.
That's why I was just wondering if, should we, it's kind of nice, I guess, for the Buck and Does maybe to have.
Yeah, and it does light up that front vestibule nice when you're coming and going there, so.
Yeah,
They're all LED bulbs, so they're not burning huge hydro. It's not like the old incandescent that burnt 7 watts a piece, so.
yeah.
David's
Well,
right. It's good lighting for the Buck and Does because they kept leaving the outside lights on. And with those little Christmas lights now, they don't leave the outside lights on.
Okay.
The township lights aren't on a timer?
Nope.
Really? They're just on all the time?
Yep. I think it's cheaper probably to run the hydro than it is to buy a timer that somebody will steal or wreck or lose.
Okay. Well, they usually malfunction within a year or two anyways.
Yep. So.
Okay.
They're probably coming to pick them up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. All righty. New business. I'll jump to 8.2 quickly. I'm not sure Monica's still here, but so there's been discussions about a new board member. I think Taylor is in the meeting. I think I saw her join. Oh, no, Monica.
Yeah, Taylor's it.
Yeah, Taylor's in the meeting. So she's expressed interest to join. We were just discussing that protocol with Kayla, and so we've had a bit of back and forth. All the information has sort of gone to Taylor and Monica, and so unless someone drops off of the board at this point, it is better for her just to attend as a volunteer, and 6 months down the road when the new council is sworn in at that point, then we would go through the process of making her a board member.
Why do we need to wait 6 months?
Kayla, what is it again? It's new council, right?
Yeah, so with only a couple months left and with such a full board, in discussion with the clerk, they just don't see requirement to go through all of the hoops, so to speak. It's quite a process that involves council going into closed session. Council has a limited number of meetings right now, and it's just not something that the clerk feels kind of warrants that at this point. She also suggested that the only time that she would see going through this process would be if a board lost, all of the members or had less than 3 at this time. Again, she provided excellent opportunity, like Gord had mentioned, to have Taylor continue to come to these meetings and kind of get an idea of what a board member does and how to pass the motions and kind of go through all those things. So it's a good learning opportunity. And then absolutely, if they wanted to fill out the, they being Taylor, wanted to fill out the application online, please do so. We'll put it in our documents that we're sending to council come the new term.
I'm of the opinion that there's no need to wait the 6 months. I had thought that we added Taylor to the board a long time ago when she first started helping out. I don't think it's a learning experience. She's been on the board and been doing, frankly, more work than I have for the Duntroon Hall, and really picking up my slack in terms of social media presence and creative design stuff. Again, I thought she was already a member, and I think that creating an onus on people to volunteer for a community hall, which we're lucky enough that we have a good group, but most halls are begging for volunteers, is really unfortunate that, you know, they're gonna make us go through this. But I would say that it's not okay to set a precedent to require someone to wait for council to change.
No, and I can appreciate that, Nicole. It's just, I had a discussion with both Gordon and Monica moving forward in this. She has not been an official board member for as long as I can remember. I mean, I've only been here for a couple years anyways, so I'm relatively new. However, just give me 1 second. And now my kids will go and brush their teeth. So I can appreciate, you know, the frustration with this. I'm just the messenger. If you have more information or more comments or suggestions or a different perspective, by all means, please reach out to the clerk. She's more than happy to field these questions.
I mean, I would say, why can't we like go forward with it if we're all on board with that? It sounds like she's maybe suggesting we wait, but it's not necessary that we wait.
Again, if you'd like to pass the motion and do all of that, it's the clerk's sort of duty or job to create the agendas in conjunction with the mayor, and they put it together in sort of a timely fashion. The last couple meetings have gone to about 9 and 11 p.m., which isn't really, in my opinion, not that it matters, super reasonable. But if that's something, you know, that they see fit and want to add an additional hour or half hour to a meeting, then by all means. But that's not my position. I can't sit here and fight that fight for you guys, unfortunately. Again, I understand your frustrations, and I was really hopeful that, you know, it would go through, no problem. You guys have done a pretty good job at keeping quorum. That's my concern when it comes to sort of a personal level and my personal opinion on it. To me, it just comes down to quorum. If you guys can achieve quorum, why not? But at this point, I'm the messenger, the middle person.
Would it help if someone came off?
Well, Monica graciously did offer to come off, which, I mean, it's really kind. I mean, I think it'd be a big loss to the board to lose sort of your booking and cleaning agent. She does do a lot, but as I said, with 13 members, the clerk was of the opinion that she wouldn't be bringing hall board member applications to council at this time.
Well, I think Wally could probably come off. He does not attend meetings. He's just interested in helping out at events where he can.
Mary, I would strongly suggest that Wally don't. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're really just trying to, at least from my perspective, get young people involved so we can continue on with the hall and ensure its longevity, because it means so much to our family and in the community. So I would propose, if everyone's okay, that I would reach out to the clerk and or maybe Doug Measures and Doug McKechnie and suggest maybe that this is not an appropriate protocol, and see what we can do and advocate for our hall board and for our Taylor as a new member. I don't know if I need to put a motion on the table to make some communication.
No, I mean, sure, that's great. But like Kayla said, the bigger the board, the more people we have to have for quorum. But sure.
The other consideration is, but sort of during COVID, we put Ian on the board because we needed a board member at the facility. for him to be able to operate. So one of us didn't have to be there. At this point, that's no longer required. I'm not sure what Ian's interest is with maintaining his position on the board, or if that was just a matter of convenience to suit the scenario at the time. So I could reach out to him and see if what his feeling is there, if that helps things at all.
I think Ian's actually been a pretty good addition to the board.
I agree.
And I don't want to see anyone go. And from my perspective, we're no longer talking about adding a board member, and we're talking about a process that's essentially not allowing us to get volunteers. And like, it's the process that's the problem, not this board or members. So the idea is not to ask anyone to step down. I will be the first to step down in Taylor's place, because we all know that I'm not around a lot. But again, I think it's the process, and someone needs to say something on behalf of all the boards if this is going to be the issue.
Agreed.
Totally with
Yeah,
you.
what organization can afford to turn away volunteers?
Exactly. Yeah, the system as it's evolved, like when I think back, not that many years ago, somebody showed up and they said they'd like to be on the board. We all said, okay, you want to be on the board? We put up our hand and they're on the board. It was simple. And I know there's a process necessary here, but it shouldn't make it more difficult, right? Like,
I mean, the obligations and the red tape that the township is creating for volunteer run boards is extreme and unnecessary, and it's just gonna I mean, from my perspective, it's really gonna hamper us keeping the hall alive. Obviously grateful for everyone on the board and all your hard work, but at some point we'd like to give you a break and let you enjoy the hall as well. So I think it's a problem that needs to be discussed, and I'm happy to start that dialogue.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think so. And once again, I mean, how long in a council meeting is it really going to add for them to, to add that one point to the agenda?
It's the process of going in camera, but I just want to reiterate on sort of kind of behalf of the clerk in my initial conversation with her. This isn't like a witch hunt to prevent volunteers from being volunteers with the board. She has every opportunity, everybody essentially has an opportunity to volunteer with the board. This is coming down to being on the board, making those board decisions. Honestly, it's putting forth a motion,
Right.
Seconding a motion. This is a really friendly and welcoming board that, in my opinion, has always valued the opinion of other people, whether it's towards activities, events, and what have you, to listen to what they have to say and implement them. There's nothing stopping Taylor in this instance from continuing that. Again, it's just the process to go through to be a voting board member. So just to reiterate that, when Nicole goes to speak with Clerk Helmke, just to be aware that's likely the direction that will go.
Yeah, Kayla, thanks for reiterating. I don't think we are, just to clarify from my perspective, I don't think in any way we're suggesting that they're trying to, like deter a person, but I think that it's important for volunteer members to speak up and make sure that council and the township realize, how much we have had to take on and the continuing surmounting obligations, and everyone's got.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think it's important. I think we did the same thing when they required us to be there for COVID, and we reached out to the new CAO, John Ferguson, I think.
Yep.
and got that straightened out. So I think it's kind of the same process. Obviously, we're doing it as, as colleagues, but I think it's important to kind of stop this in its tracks before it gets out of control for other board members who don't have the same resources that we do.
Yeah, and again, we can appreciate that. It'll just come down to sort of the flow and sort of navigating. I don't want to say that you don't have like fulsome discussion and how process and things like that work, but I think that might also be something considered in MOUs as well. I mean, we don't have a council of 26 people because everybody wants to volunteer and have, sort of their say. We have a smaller council so that we can have that fulsome discussion. Again, you guys are a larger board. I still find that you have fulsome, great discussion. You take on board everything. You've really rolled with the punches on a lot of everything that's been downloaded from governments, legislation, the whole reason my position's here, I guess, to kind of get into minutes and motions and note taking and all of that. Again, we're not trying to deter volunteers from volunteering and partaking. I mean, I think the hands-on is really important, like you've said, she has been there for a long time, and I can appreciate that. I don't want her to walk away. I don't want you to walk away. I don't want Mary or anyone else on this board to walk away. Everyone is absolutely valued.
Well said.
So I think, I don't even know if this requires an emotion, but unless there is opposition or objection from the board, I think we're in support of Nicole addressing the clerk and seeing if there is opportunity to get Taylor a position on the board, because it seems to be it's definitely welcomed, and why not now? So
Gord,
yeah,
just further to that, isn't the typical process that we as a board would first vote? Like, can we do that right now, just to all vote in favor of Taylor becoming a board member? Or how does that process work again? I seem to recall normally we would do it at the AGM, and then we would all vote. Like, so just to maybe make it as smooth as possible for Nicole going forward, could we vote right now?
Yeah.
Say that we're all in favor of Taylor joining as a board member?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know the full logistical protocol, but I'll put it to the board that we have a vote in support of Taylor Scott being added to the Duntroon Hall board as soon as possible.
We have a motion to recommend council appoint Taylor as a board member of the Duntroon Hall. All in support.
Yeah.
Yay.
All in favor, everybody?
I can't see hands.
I think I saw everybody's hand.
We got
Yeah.
to scroll through,
I
yeah.
think we had
Yep.
unanimous.
We got Ron, Kimberly, yep, everybody.
Perfect. Great, thanks for addressing that. Next item, are we good? We're all done there. Nicole, is that sufficient for you going forward?
Yes, I'm sure. Yes, thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you.
Next bit of new business. So we had a meeting end of February with all the hall chairs and Station on the Green and the Purple Hills Arts to start ramping up for Small Halls Festival 2022. So there was just ideas and different concepts being passed around. I think the big one going forward, this small halls, like, I mean, one of the biggest complaints in the past was that small halls, it just seemed too much all at once. It seemed like we tried to squeeze juice out of a lemon that basically was as dry as a bone. So the concept going forward is that each hall will do their event or their marquee sort of celebration, small hall celebration on a different weekend. So, you know, say Dunedin does something in June, you know, we do something in September, Brentwood in July, you know, just, it's going to be spread out amongst from June till October. So it allows for just, you know, you're not stressing volunteers, you're not stressing, you know, all the supplies and stuff that are needed for events. It just allows a little more concentration, and we as hall board members can participate in the other halls events, which I think, you know, the origins of the small halls, I think the goal was to try to generate tourism, and there'd be a lot of, you know, out of town sort of opportunities, but the reality, I think, over the years is it's pretty much a local event for the most part, you know, like sort of like a, you know, you will get some people that have traveled a distance, but 95%, I'd say, of the people that are coming are in the vicinity. So I think it's a good concept to go with, and so that's where we've sort of landed. Next day, well, just on that, any comments regarding that? Does that sound?
I think it's great. That's
Yeah.
what we were pushing you for years in a way, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, like,
So-
and I think the original Small Halls Festival out on the East Coast, that's where they're, you know, it's a festival that runs for a month or 2 months.
Yeah.
And way more sense.
Yeah.
Board, was there a discussion then about like for the Duntroon Hall to have September, or that you just mentioned it?
No. So this is our next phase of the discussion with small halls. We have to start wrapping our heads around what we would like to do and when we would like to do it. So we, you know, basically event description and date of event. Like, I've got basically a series event planning form, and it's just a matter of like, okay, what do we want to take on? What can we, you know, obviously I think one of the sort of staples would obviously be the chicken race. And then beyond that is just figuring out what forms of entertainment or what forms of activities that we want to program during said weekend, whether it be September, October, or August. So I'll take any feedback on that. I really, you know, I'm been pondering a few things, but haven't really landed on anything. So I'm curious to see if, you know, obviously you don't have to answer right away. I have to check. I can't remember when we're supposed to present. Hold on a second. When?
I think we should stay away from September in terms of like all the local fairs.
Yeah.
Thinking that's probably best.
Chicken race followed by a chicken dance.
Chicken dance.
Suzanne's got a great idea for an event.
Well, I just wanted to see about checking with an artist that I really admire to see what their parameters would be for a concert. The idea with the small halls is not that it's a fundraiser, correct? It's more of a, because I was thinking if we were able to get this artist, it would be great to do it as an Indigenous fundraiser or something.
Yeah. So what, so is this a performance?
Concert.
Concert would be
A
a
concert.
concert.
It would be a concert, okay? Perfect. And would there be opportunity to construct some events around it as well?
I would
Yes,
think so, yeah.
Okay,
There would maybe be a lot of potential, but I'm just not sure what, like what their schedule's like and what, what their minimum requirements would be in terms of venue size, because we're pretty small.
but they're known for doing stuff that's a bit out of the box
Right. Yeah.
too.
It would be good to have some sort of, I don't know if it's possible, but do like some sort of afternoon concert so we could tie it into the chicken race. I don't know if that's the idea to get people out. I know the year we did the 150th, like I remember it was a great turnout. We had the Scottish dancers or Irish dancers maybe, and we did it outside.
yeah.
I was thinking, Nicole, that we get headlights for the chickens and we run. It's all night, just like they used to do stock car races at night.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Bring boxes.
Yeah,
Kim, you have chickens. What do chickens do when it's dark out?
Well,
They
it
rip.
could be Red Bull.
We would lose them for sure.
that's before if you put the floodlights on, it really messed them up. And then we paint them, we get bioluminescent paint.
On their feet.
Yeah, a lot more fun with this chicken race.
This is a good consideration. So the entertainment that you're talking about, Suzanne, would like is it like an hour, 2-hour show? Is it
yeah.
comedy? Is it music? Is it
Music, it's music.
music?
I don't understand why she's just not telling us all.
Well, okay,
Because you want to check. to
I
see
need
if it-
to check. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, no, that's great.
Theme of mine. I'd love to see him perform.
Hmm.
I think it'd be really amazing.
So it sounds like we're structuring similar to maybe we have in the past, that we have an afternoon chicken race, or we've always done high noon. We could push it a little bit later if it's an evening concert event. The chicken race could be a little bit later. Do we stick with sort of, we've always done a bit of a food fair? Do we try to do that again in conjunction, just because it seems to have worked well in the past as well? And then bleed into roll into the concert, sort of similar structure that we've done in the past. That's always been a Sunday thing. Would we look to do maybe this on a Saturday instead, just because now there's no real conflict?
Yes, yeah, I think so.
And time of year, is there any, obviously September is quite busy. I mean, do we just, weather's always the issue when you get into obviously the traditional small halls weekend?
Nah, earlier I think it's better. What about the third weekend in August or something like that?
Like right near the end of August, like the weekend before Labor Day weekend, maybe?
That's music festival time too.
Is it?
Yeah, like summer folk, I think is the third weekend, I think.
Well,
Anyway.
there's always going to be something
Yeah,
else, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in that setup, Gord, like I really glad to hear that idea of spreading it out.
Yeah.
Like in an ideal world, I wonder, like, if this thing continues year to year, that, Duntroon is always this, say, third weekend in August, and somebody else is always this, or like, it'd be nice just to claim it and be done with it. Not visit every year, okay, who's doing when, what type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the third weekend, like August scares me because if we do, I don't know if we're doing an indoor or outdoor concert, but either way, it's summer and no one really wants to be inside. And given it's close to school starting, I don't know if a lot of families like do last minute weekend trips. I don't know. Like, I'm fine with it. I just know it's like a busy time
Yeah.
of camping year.
I don't know, I was thinking more.
October can be brutal.
Oh, I know it can be brutal, but still, it's the thing that people are looking for things to do too.
Yeah, it is hit and miss weather-wise, and sometimes it can be just the perfect weekend because people are looking for stuff to do. I think I've got it here. G&E is
Usually the 21st or something,
I've-
isn't it?
yeah, I've got
Around
right here. It's 23rd to the 25th of September this year.
Feversham is prior to that, the week prior to that.
So if you went the October 1st weekend, do we like October 1st is the Saturday?
That's I think was what we did last time, right?
I think
There's-
I think started gapping so that we would go 2 weeks after the G&E just because I think it was just a lot. But I'm happy to press it right up to a week after the G&E.
You could even, I know there's no fair on the 10th that I know of, but the 10th of September is even.
Because people are back. It's the weekend after Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Board, who's the target audience on this? Like, are they really going to be trying to push to get people coming up from the city for events again? Or is it going to be just local?
They always do, but it does. I mean, it's up to us. At the end of the day, what the vibe. I mean, there will be promotions, obviously, outside of our area, but a majority of the people that seem to attend these events are mainly local. But it depends. It depends on what, obviously our entertainment is, what we structure. It might reach a broader audience. But then once again, you become a little limited by capacity. So. Yeah, I don't. It's a toss up between September 10th and October 1st. What are people's feeling on that? I guess it's also going to come down to what some of the other hall boards are.
Yeah, I'd lean into September rather than October, but that's.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Okay, so let's. I'll put in a request for September 10th, and rough sort of structure will be chicken race, food, some sort of other activities, sort of the gap between after the chicken race and the food to whenever the concert is, and whether obviously if we can we can think more about what sort of other activities we want to take on. And we can also decide, do we want it just to be the one day, or do we want to roll on into, make it a weekend event or like a 3-day event?
One.
And I think, if we move like if we had food there and the chicken races during the food, I'm thinking kind of like the New Farm stuff. And then maybe that outdoor thing, you have somebody with like guitar or like some whatever, so that there's entertainment, you sit around, you socialize. Maybe we have a beer garden or something.
Yeah.
And then you move into the barn.
Yeah. Perfect.
Something, and just consolidate it all down tighter. Because at September, if we get the September 10th, I wonder when sunset is.
Probably what? So it's probably
Yeah,
9, 8:30.
Yeah.
So, we could have a 6 o'clock
Oh.
chicken. Something. Maybe.
Yeah, and so the concert generally, their performance is an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours.
I have no idea, Gord.
Okay.
I'm totally just throwing it out there.
It would be a shot in the dark.
Yeah, it's a total shot in the dark.
But if we just thought about whether that thing pans out or not, then we could
Or if there's a
aim
play or-
for another, whether it's a speaker or a lecture. But if, like something started at 8 o'clock or something, right? Or 8:30 in terms of the main show.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, and always open. It doesn't have to be just one show. We could, if we can have some sort of opening act or it's always more the merrier.
Roz has a question there. You're on mute, Roz.
Don't think I'm crazy, but I've always had this idea that I want to do, and it's I've always wanted to have like a battle of Duntroon, and just like have this, like everyone comes as their little army or whatever, their family, like clan or whatever, and we have like a LARPing battle. You have your foam swords and stuff, and so everyone is battling for the crown of Duntroon.
Sounds good.
So that's more of a family thing, and maybe that would be not fit into this, but I just always wanted to do that.
Yeah, we can consider if there's room to, entertainment is entertainment, right? And if whether you're involved or you're a bystander, I think,
You'd be a medic.
Yeah.
See, we need medics, and we need people that, because if you get injured, you can, if you die, then you go back to the medic, and you have to go to the farmer, and you have to do a challenge. I've thought about this a little too much, I think, but I have
Sounds
like a speech. You can be the herald and do the speech with the rules.
Sounds like the Clash of Clans.
That would be fun. That would be a fun thing to do. Like even in the, if it was just an open thing, bring your cardboard.
Yeah, exactly. You just register, and and it's all ages, and so
Chicks wear armor.
Yeah.
Perfect. And just
anyways, that's it.
throw everybody in the dog pen and away they go.
That could be the prison
Mhm.
for people who are, not obeying the rules. And then the next year, someone would have to, whoever got the crown, the next year they'd have to, be whoever won would have to battle them for the crown. So,
Perfect.
and we could
Alright.
use one of Jim's old outhouses for
The throne.
for the throne. There you go.
Perfect. So with I'm about to segue into you, Rob, but I'll just leave that with everyone else. That's a good start, just as far as a bit of brainstorming. If anyone gets ideas or there's things that they think would be great opportunities for us to do at the hall, please send them to me for the small hall stuff. We don't have to put anything, obviously concrete. And if we are September 10th, we've got a fair bit of time. But I think the biggest thing was just getting the wheels in motion and starting some of the planning phases of it. So thanks for the input, and continue to consider what we can do to showcase our hall and what activities would be fun to host for the community. And on that, the segue into Roz. Roz, I don't know if anyone saw recently in the Creemore Echo, posted a letter to the editor reaching out to fellow Duntroonians. And Roz, what happened?
Oh, we got some really nice letters from people here that just really want to do stuff at the hall, and you know, kid things and adult things, and some people want to do, you know, kids activities indoors, and yeah, just lots of people that want to see some kind of programming happen. So
Great. It's a good letter, Roz. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of the things with suggestions, I saw one person was wanting pool tables. That's a bit of an investment.
that's a bit too much. Yeah. But the ping pong tables we could do.
But yeah, exactly. But, you know, the sort of thing I tried to and would like to go back to is having, you know, monthly games nights potentially where you just show up and there's like 3 or 4 games, and those are the games that are played, and then you can mix it up, new games, different times, and my brother gets together with a group once a week, and every week they meet at a bar and they pull out a game, and every week it's a different game, and so it's creating some of those opportunities that, you know, people could come in, and it's open for games night. So that would be an option. One of the other, what there was discussions of a Tai Chi group, apparently, that's.
Oh yeah, so I was talking to the Station on the Green person about how they how that all worked for them, like how they you know, if they, you know, hired them to work there, or if they paid a bit. So she sent me that information on how they charge per hour for various groups and stuff. So that seemed like a good idea too. So I talked to the Brentwood yoga person, and she is a registered yoga teacher, and she teaches for free. So that's her donation, and then people pay $5 per class, and then all that goes to the hall. But we would need somebody here who was willing to teach it for free, I guess. So, but just looking at how different boards have handled that.
Yeah, different. Good.
Yeah, and she had like waivers and stuff like that she was going to send me. She's out of town right now, but just seeing structurally how everyone goes about it. So I think for us, it would be nice if we could if we could start something, you know, sort of not too intense, but just like have something available in the summer, and maybe hire or have like a student or something who would be willing to come in once a week and do like arts and crafts with kids or something, like just try little things like that. But if there was a student out there who would be willing to, I don't know how it would work if they'd want to volunteer, or, you know, or what, but like the township did pay somebody at one point to do that. But that went away, so.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll keep that ideas mill coming. I'm sure you're going to get a lot more consultations too.
I thought it was interesting that the station, sorry to interrupt, but just the fact that the Station on the Green was also doing the coffee shop thing too was neat to see.
Yeah.
That,
so yeah, I guess nothing's open Monday and Tuesday, so they do 9 to 11 sort of drop in.
Yeah. So I guess they had like 25 people there today. She emailed me today and would like us all to come she said, please invite your board next week. We can all chat about how this goes. But yeah, so I guess she's had some really good, they've had a really good response from the community for that. So, and they paid for, like, they bought some coffee makers or something, and it just paid for itself today already. So.
I had one more thing to add before we run away on another thing else. The craft one-stop Christmas shop has typically been the PD day in November. Are we having it again this year? Or?
There's someone who wants to take it on, I think by all means.
Yeah.
Well, Trace took it on before, and she would do it again, but it needs to move to October. It can't be in November. So.
Sure. I think so.
Sure, like a one-stop Christmas shop Halloween, nightmare before Christmas.
Yeah.
That can work.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that usually the Thursday?
It's usually the Friday. It was always on the Friday. The PD day was.
PD day is on the
So it was like a 4 to 8 type thing. So.
Mm-hmm. Is there a preference there? I mean, I don't even know if we have anything booked for.
We'll talk to Monica before we get too far involved. That we'll pick a Friday before the end of October.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Great.
Sounds good.
So, Roz, just back to your thing, is there a plan to try a trial thing or anything, or?
Hey, what?
Like, I know Suzanne was telling me that you had people interested, with like kids dropping in or something like that. Like it would be fairly easy just to, if it was, somebody was there to assist, whatever, just to try one again Wednesday morning or whatever, like
right
happens, right?
Yeah.
And try and spread the word and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are many things that people here would come to if it was going on during the day. It's just a matter of figuring out who and how can host it, right? Like how that would work. Because I think, I would go to the hall, once or twice a week to do things during the day, like for myself. Like if there was a yoga class or whatever, like I would, I think there's people here that would go to the hall for, instead of going to Collingwood for things. And I just, it's just trying to figure out the logistics of having somebody in charge of that, right? So trying to get somebody who wants to donate their time. And again, I don't know if anybody, I mean, I think like for the kids thing, what would be ideal is if there was a parent out there who wanted this for their kids and was willing to kind of host the group, or a student who wanted volunteer hours or something like that.
Or in combination. Yeah, Rod, that's what I was going to mention, if you wanted to maybe read out that one letter from that mom. Just because I was mentioning to Jim, I thought that could be an interesting opportunity. Like, if there was like a play group opportunity for families, like if the weather's good, they can be out in the playground. If the weather's bad, they can be in the hall.
Yeah.
Doing water. And at the same time, that's when you have the coffee shop. And it could be really awesome, some of the older members of the community are maybe, either helping host that or they're visiting too, and then you get that intergenerational thing.
Yeah.
And anybody else can pop in at the same time. But then, if you have it in combination with something like a play group, then you have kind of a built-in audience, you know, like I'm sure lots
Right.
of moms would love a coffee while their kids, you know, like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, that would be neat if you could maybe go back to that mom and see if, you know, if she's interested or knows of anybody. And I think that idea of having, well, that card having community hours because kids would be in school.
But if we just do it in the summer, you know, like that's what the township did a few years ago, like that art thing was in the summer.
Right.
And I only found out about it on the last day. And when I got there, it was only the McNallys. Like it was, I think they were the only ones that went every week. Because I didn't know about it. So but I think that would be a good time to do it when, you know, if kids are not going to, especially this summer, kids might not be going to camp. They might not be, you know, doing anything else. So it would be, you know, a good to have a little daytime thing. But yeah, that's a good idea. Like figuring out, like maybe like doing it all on one day, you think? Like even doing the coffee shop just on one day? Like,
Well, I was just thinking, you know, like just to start with, you know, like if
Yeah.
there was like an interest in a play group, you know, that it could be like it's an open house day. So you have the coffee shop and a play group happening at the same time, and it's a drop in. And then, you know, that it maybe grows organically from there, you know, like
yeah,
and
yeah,
they have yoga or Tai Chi,
Yeah.
and then a coffee, you know, like that kind of
okay.
thing. But I
Would-
think I really like that idea too of talking like that in that station on the green to have that kind of feedback together, right? To see how
Yeah.
what works for them and you know that kind of thing.
Well, maybe you and I can go or something and meet up with her and she just wanted to do like a little brainstorming session with us just to, because that's what they want too with their hall. They want more community involvement opportunities but the if you guys don't mind, I was going to contact the Collingwood Tai Chi place because that's where the station on the green Tai Chi people came out of, and maybe maybe they could do the same arrangement with us, which is just like pay the $15 for the space and then, you know, for the hour, and then, you know, we can see if the community wants to do that. Because I think we also have the outdoor space too, which would be nice for, you know, on the nice days. So that could be something that, you know, we could incorporate.
Yeah, I think that would be great, you know, because Tai Chi is it's one of those things it's universal, but it's particularly, you know.
Yeah. Well, and in the station on the green, because it is sort of a learned thing, they only start new classes in September and January. So if you wanted to do it now, you couldn't. So, you know, it'd be kind of nice to have people who want to do something this summer. They could start, you know, in July or June.
Right.
Would everybody be okay if I contacted the Collingwood Tai Chi people?
Yep. Good for me.
See you guys later. I gotta run.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
Okay, bye.
Our
Yeah.
phone is to die.
Yeah, we're down to 2%.
That's why I was so late, because my phone was charging, and then I realized that I deleted my Zoom app somehow. So I had to get Zoom again.
Perfect. Any other input just regarding hall activities, hall opportunities?
No,
We've got quite a bit on the plate right now, so but yeah, always feel free to pitch your ideas. If you hear of things, throw it in the mix.
Gary's thinking about doing a movie night at some point, so we can.
I
talk
was
about
going
it.
to suggest that we need to do, you know, like a movie night and you know, mix it with something else. Have, you know, like 2 activities at once.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a matter of the windows being, having to be
Blacked out.
blacked out, yeah. If there was an easy way to do that, he would do it like every week. You know? He would love that, or like once a month or something, but it's just a bit labor intensive.
Yeah, I think should install some, it would be great to install some like pull down sort of
Yeah,
blackout blinds or something like that. Keep an eye on some out there, see if you do that, because that would be used more often than not.
yep.
Perfect. All right. Any other input before Jim and Suzanne battery bites the dust? No, we all good? Okay, next meeting, April 19th, 2022 at 7 p.m. If we don't get a fast track on our in-person meeting, we will coordinate something for a hall cleanup at that point, probably very shortly after that. And other than that, be it resolved that the Duntroon Hall Board hereby be adjourned at 8:33 p.m. this fine evening. Great to see everyone. Thanks for all your input, and hope you enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks, everybody.